Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? So let's get into the story over here. It says here, when my dad ended of colon cancer at 57, I decided to change my life. I went vegan and became a distance runner. That's it's rather silly. Uh, you just veganism and intense exercise just seems like a recipe for a short life. Okay. He's doing silly things. There's got to be a better way to cope, sir, than than what you're doing. Okay? This is dad. Looks Irish. Okay, Sultan. When John Sultan's father he had a revelation. He decided to change his life. He adopted a vegan diet, reduced stress, and became an ultra runner. He now owns a vegan cafe and is planning a cross-country cross Australia run for charity. Okay. So is this like a promo for his charity? Like I get it. Colon cancer is bad, but veganism and cross-country running? All right. My father, yeah, died in 1985 when I was 25. He was only 57. He was a dairy farmer and professional cyclist. It wasn't long after he decided to give up dairy farming, probably because of his old age, uh, mainly due to stress levels, that he developed colon cancer. So, so was he not being vegan and running cross country the cause of? Like, I don't understand how you. It just he just had colon cancer. It didn't come from any activity that he was doing. You saying the stress caused the cancer? A lot of people are stressed, homie. A lot of people get his epiphany. Well, I don't know how he squared that circle, but he somehow put things together. And he's like, aha, light bulb, vegan, colon. Epiphany for me was when I was carrying my father's coffin. Yeah, you gotta learn how to grieve, my friend. That's just weird. Carrying the coffin and it's just like all this protein is really. I did a lot of reflecting and realized I didn't want to experience this in my life. It was too late. I don't think you know how experiences work. And I didn't want my children to have to deal with the loss of their father. I don't think you know how time works. So young. Okay. Either. At that point, I had two sons, David, who was 3, and I also had a newborn, Marcus. But how did you associate veganism with long life? I made a conscious choice at that point to be part of a generational shift while reflecting on my father's life. Oh, was it because he is a dairy farmer? Because your father's a dairy farmer, you're just like no more animal stuff. I don't, I don't get. I'm guarantee you when his father was alive, and he was like working on the farm. You know, you got to put down a couple of animals. And he was probably a sensitive kid. He was definitely a sensitive kid, and he cried. He cried a little bit too many times. He was planning to be vegan anyways, and he just used his father's situation as an excuse. He was like, "See, Dad, I told you, I was right. Meeting's murder or whatever." While for reflecting on my father's life, my grandparents' lives, and my grandparents' lives, and his grandparents' life. Okay, damn it. I thought there's something not quite right here. What am I going to what am I going to do differently? Not be a dairy farmer. That's when I really started going down the path of changing so much about my lifestyle and habits. It was a process. Well, Everything's a process, sir. After my father died, I altered my diet, reduced stress. You should have been doing that anyways. I know that stress and diet were being contributors to my father's illness. It's cancer. I remember when Dad came home from the Peter MacCallum Cancer Center in Melbourne, which was next to the closest city to we live. Okay, when he was diagnosed with colon cancer. I keep saying colon. They suggested he reduced his consumption of red meat. Is that how you became vegan? He already had it. He already had it at that point. It was more of a, they always tell you to reduce your consumption of red meat. They didn't say go vegan. He didn't, he did change his diet, but it was too late. The man is a dairy farmer surrounded by red meat. uh, Dad died 14 months after being diagnosed of the cancer, not his diet. Like, but it wasn't too late for me. For, listen, if this was hereditary, there's nothing you could do. All right. Did your grandparents, you know, have the same thing? I reduced mine pretty much straight after Dad died. I started to eat better and ate more plant-based foods. Most most foods are plant-based. Cows eat plant. They then around 2009, I went fully vegan. Then in 2011, I did a 40-day water fast to deepen my healing experience emotionally and physically. My dude, you went off the deep end. How's this? You into astrology too? You all spiritual, opening your chakras and stuff? At this point, I had a building company in Melbourne, which was going quite well in its early stages, but it was a very stressful period, probably because all that soy in your diet. In the building industry, I ended up losing my business and going into liquidation. I lost everything financially and decided I wanted to get into a career that was more aligned with my purpose in life. Well, considering your last decision, I don't know. I don't know. You might you might just start skydiving or something. I wanted to make a difference in people's lives through food. In 2017, I ended up buying into a predominantly vegan cafe. So it's not completely vegan because he wouldn't make any money. In town called Bright in Northeast Victoria. At that point, the cafe was called You Are What You Eat. Okay, that's a weird name for a cafe. My partner at the time and I ended up changing the name to Wild Theme, a space where people could come and enjoy amazing plant-based food. I embraced exercise. You should have done that before. After my father, I started racing bikes. Wasn't his father also into racing bikes? I did that up until early 40s. However, I was nearly hit by a car twice. That tends to happen. And it was the thought that I wanted to be here for my kids. Yeah, I was hit by a car while I was riding a bike. That was not a fun experience. So I took up running in 2014. It makes it easier for the cars to get you. My first year of running, I did a marathon up a mountain, which had 2,500 meters of ascent. Ooh. Then I started ultra running, which involves running distances. With all that plant in your diet. Okay, I get that. It's an ultra 4K, whatever. I was hooked. Get that runner's high, huh? Gotta need that next hit. Some friends of mine had created a run called the Down Under 135, covering 135 miles. Oh, that's why they call it 135. At that point, it was regarded as the toughest single stage ultra endurance event, ultra mega super flabber, whatever. Southern Australasia. I was the oldest by 10 years and ended up coming in first. It's probably all that plant-based stuff. Whoa. Wow. You are dust swept, sir. I started dreaming bigger and running further. How is your restaurant doing? I mean, your cafe, my bad. How is that going? After that race, I thought, what's my next goal? I don't know, running down to the store and getting you some red meat. Then it came to me. I would run across Australia. Okay. I wanted to get myself in such good shape that I would be more than capable of running across this great country of ours. In 2019, I decided to test myself on a multi-day event that I created and ran myself. I decided to run up and down Mount Buffalo near where I live for 40 consecutive days, which is what I did. I wanted to do it to prove that I was up for the multi-day challenge leading up to my coast-to-coast run across Australia. Since then, I've done several distance runs to prepare. What, do you have time to raise your kids, man? I thought this was about your kids, your family and stuff. To prepare for the big one across Australia, which I start on June 29, covering. Yeah, I get it, I get it. I don't need your whole itinerary, friend. I always tear up just thinking about running up the steps to the iconic Cape Byron lighthouse. Is that where your dad's buried? I've already dreamt about being there. It's already been done in my mind. I've just got to get out there and physically do it and physically shed those vegan tears. I decided to help others. The run is just a small part of it. Another big part of the journey is what my team is going to achieve from the run. The money my team is going to raise will go towards creating a charity called Soaring Connections. The goal is to build a regenerative farms that will grow food for regional communities with other initiatives that will support the vibrance of people in original communities. I mean, if it's a good business, good on you. But if it's just a business that's really just gonna fail and you're just doing it for your own uh, personal and social beliefs, and it's really not going to bring anything to the community, you might be a little bit misguided, sir. Uh, it's been an incredible journey. I'm proud that I've got to acknowledge okay, so you finally learn how to grieve properly. It truly got me to grow and evolve into who I am today. I could hear my dad saying, "I'm so proud of you." Yeah, he's probably proud of you for living past 57. Anyways, until next time.